The podcast you are listening to of Holmberg's Morning Sickness is brought to you by my friends at Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Trust me on this one. You've had barbecue before, but you haven't had it this good. Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale, ericsfamilybbq.com.
When was the last time you had really good Texas-style barbecue? Eric's Family Barbecue, the way it's supposed to taste. Always delicious, never rushed, and prepared to perfection. Eric's Family Barbecue uses only 100% fresh meat, slowly smoked over mesquite wood until it's juicy and delicious. We all know their brisket is the best, but have you tried their pulled pork, pork ribs, or rib tips? Amazing, and their sides are all house-made. Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Make the trip. You won't be sorry. Go to ericsfamilybbq.com for more information.
Holmberg's Morning Sickness.
You've been deceived by an agent of Satan himself. He's evil.
Sitting right here. Come on.
No, he's not evil. He's just a bit rude.
98 KUPD.
That's it. 98 KUPD. It is the Morning Sickness here. One of us not part of the rest of the crew. That's me. I'm at home. Put my pants back on, though, because it started getting a little sweaty and sticky on the leather couch there with the butt cheeks. But I'll get to, you know what? I'll do the entertainment drill nude, too. Why wouldn't I? It's 8:26. We're in the midst of a Monday morning, and everything is according to plan. So far, no glitches. I am, putting this whole thing together. Brady, I don't know if they had to have people do it for you, but...
This is what happened.
That's what happened.
What happened?
Commercial started running with you.
What the hell's going on down
I
there?
hit the wrong button.
Never happens when a professional's in charge.
I know. You better get your ass back in here.
Getting all this stuff all connected and things like that was a treat. And the best part about it was I did my end right the first time. So all the equipment that's at the house, nobody would come in. So I had to figure this all out on my own, like engineer things. But because I am totally and completely unafraid of plugging other things without fear of, I don't know, what's the worst that can happen? You put an Ethernet thing in the wrong thing. But I plugged it all in right. And for about 2 hours, the geniuses that always give us so much crap when we screw up a printer or we can't figure out how to get this started, or everybody gets the thing from Marcus when you're like, hey, this computer's doing a thing. Okay, Mary Tangeman, out of the way. And he always calls you like the oldest person in the building's name and makes fun of you. Marcus and David could not get that thing hooked up correctly back at the station. And I could hear them, they couldn't hear me, and all I heard was, geez, I just can't. He's clearly got his end hooked up, right? I just can't. There's not a... Well, and then I got the best text I've ever gotten from Marcus Mang, ever, who is constantly up everybody's ass about technology and how bad we are at it. I mean, Toledo, you just got your new computer put together, and it was a disaster. Like, everything about it was like, well, you can't figure this out, or I'm working on that, or I'm only one man, and all that. Marcus sent me a text that I never would have expected from the Prince of Hell. I want to thank you for being so patient with everything. Clearly, we didn't have our end all buttoned up.
Wow.
Thank you for your patience and sitting there the entire time making sure. I'm like, wow. An IT guy who just told a complete knob who knows nothing about any of this stuff that it was their fault is unheard of. I swear to God, it was like the sky turned pink for a few seconds. It was a different color. I was on a different planet. IT guys never do that kind of stuff. But yeah, we've got it all hooked up. And so far, knock on whatever, I don't think it's broken once, right? And that's because I did my end so well.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that's...
It's pretty sweet. You put it into that Ethernet thing into your router. It's amazing, the sound quality.
It's gotten to a point with Marcus where I had to shoot videos on my phone of what was going on my computer to prove that I wasn't being the idiot.
What, do you think you were lying or what?
It's just, like John said, he's got that IT guy thing that's like, I've done everything right. What are you doing wrong? Here it is,
guys
dude.
Always assume that it's your fault. And then, I felt some awesome sense of satisfaction that everything I did was dead perfect. And I'd move stuff around and it was still working on my end. It was just great. And he kept saying, we're getting a connection from you, but all right, if you could just hold on a second. And then they didn't, I don't know if they knew, but I could hear them just going, I don't know what to do. I'm confused. And I'm like, God, it's good to hear them say that, because there's nobody more smug than an engineer and an IT guy staring at you, looking at the electronics when you need help.
It should be working.
Nothing is more smug than an IT guy when your computer's not working. Oh, but it was satisfactory in my world to have them both confused. And then again, I'm going to frame that email. Oh, so nice. So beautiful. Also, I believe that we have a beer party coming up. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but it's December 1st, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Is that when that thing's happening?
The release.
Yeah, the release of Holmberg Bound back again for the winter. Our winter brew at Four Peaks is back. December 1st, by the way, is 15 days from now. If you can believe it, we're 2 weeks and a day away from December 1st, which is phenomenally fast. This year is blowing past us. So right after Thanksgiving ends, we come back on the Monday and Tuesday of the end of November, and then December 1st, which is a Wednesday, we're going to be over there in Tempe, blowing out the Holmberg Bound for a great cause. You can go online at 98kupd.com and find all the information you need so you can get your order of this delightful red IPA that we put out. Everybody that's had it loves it, and I'm sure the pre-orders are going to go fast. When you pre-order, we're going to give you a pint glass. We got 6-packs and bottles. You can get the growlers down there at the event on December 1st, also pints and stuff like that. We'll give pint glasses away there, too. But if I was you, I'd get those bottles because we're bottling it, too. And you can grab those online early, I think starting right now.
10 a.m. from
10 a.m. today.
Yep,
yeah.
10 a.m.
Okay, so this morning, in an hour and 29 minutes, you guys can start pre-ordering the Holmberg Bound. Get your name on the list. Go down there, pick up your stuff, have fun with us on December 1st. Last year, I can't believe it's been a year already, we did the drive-thru, and that went great. This year, we get to do what we've always done, which is the release, and we can all have a good time drinking and dancing on a Wednesday night. So looking forward to that. December 1st, Holmberg Bound is being released again. And, of course, the proceeds from Holmberg Bound going directly to the Humane Society, helping them out. Then 2 days later, Holmberg Bound served on tap at the Celebrity Theater, and we get our big happy ending show with John Lovitz, Ali Sadiq, and Colin Kane. Great way to end the year if we get a couple weeks after that, but get a nice comedy show there on December 3rd with more Holmberg Bound from Four Peaks at that as well. This thing's unbelievable what we've got going on. So get ready for that. Plan your Wednesday on December 1st accordingly before any of that stuff gets goofy. So thanks to Four Peaks and Humane Society. A check's heading your way, hopefully, to start getting more help to the puppies and cats and all the fuzzy stuff that they take care of. They're great people. Also, I don't know, did you guys watch Saturday Night Live at all?
I didn't. Brady was telling me about it, but
told him a little about
I missed it.
Tay-Tay Swift's 10-minute performance.
10-minute song about a breakup for her. Like, she's still mad
about Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal. She's still
song.
got it is a 10-minute song.
What is she, Maynard now? This isn't a Tool
boring.
song. Jesus.
She is the epitome of average to me. I don't get the Taylor Swift love.
And I take it the point of doing the 10-minute thing was also to showcase the video that she directed.
Okay.
That starred.
The video's playing as well?
There's playing behind her.
No.
Yeah.
And it was, the song would have been okay if it was 2-3 minutes long, but it's not that interesting. And I don't know, Brady, did you say, like, it was boring? The song was super boring.
That part. Other than that, I didn't see anything else. And I guess, the big thing they're trying to hype is it's the first time an artist, instead of doing 2 songs,
right.
They come on 2 different times. It was just one 10-minute block.
One giant 10-minute.
No one's ever done that before.
They've had people do 3 songs. When Paul McCartney was on, he did 3. I think Sting did 3. But they've never had anybody go on far too long. And hopefully never again. I don't get the Taylor Swift thing. She's pretty. She's not spectacular. Her songs are okay. They're not spectacular.
Yeah.
She is the milquetoast of superstardom.
And 2 exes were on the set, evidently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I guess she went out with
Pete Davidson,
Joe Jonas, because he was there with his wife. And then was Jake Gyllenhaal there? There was one other one that was there.
Jeez, I don't know any of that.
Well, that's her whole career is based on her breakups.
No,
she's a whore. That's how she keeps it going.
I think Brett might have something here.
It's true.
She
has
bones
gone
people
through a lot.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I think that's what I think, and I'm right, I might be using the wrong word, but that's what a succubus does.
Yes.
A succubus has sex with you and then takes all your energy for their gains.
It's true.
And I think she
has material.
Yeah, she sleeps with guys and Black Widows them and then eats her mate and then takes all of what they have and makes tons and tons of money off of it. I mean, why would you ever go out with her? You're not going to get any of the cash for your bad behavior, and it's going to get spilled everywhere. We're all dicks down deep.
Oh, yeah.
Eventually, some girl... I mean, could you imagine if you ever dated a talented woman who could write songs about you and the whole world knew? It'd be awful.
Yeah, I guess she has a song about... They're saying it's about Joe Jonas. It's her song, Mr. Perfectly Fine, is another one that she's got a ton of them.
She's perfectly fine. I don't get the fascination with Taylor Swift. She's, again, Average, pretty, nothing special.
She's got the body of olive oil, too.
She's
got no body, no ass, fast back. I'm out.
Man, he's getting pissed off as we're sitting here.
She does sort of have olive oil's built.
She does.
Yeah. Which appeals to a certain, strong forearmed young man. But yeah, I don't understand the Taylor Swift love, but that song was forever. And the other thing I noticed after watching that Saturday, women now swoon and scream like the Beatles take the stage when Pete Davidson does a sketch. And he doesn't have to try. He came on as Joe Rogan, no impression, no nothing, just a bald cap. And it's like Joe Rogan with AIDS. And he says a thing, and the ladies in the crowd were screaming at the top of their lungs that they wanted him badly. And I'm like, this guy who looks just like Moe from The Simpsons is now a sex symbol simply because of who he's dated.
Yeah.
Women don't find him attractive. He's not attractive. He's not that funny either. Like his stand-up's okay.
Can't buy me love over again.
It is exactly that. It's the popular girls will make you interesting to the other women, which is what guys have said this for years. Like there's nothing more attractive to a woman than a man with a woman. Like I remember in high school, all the girls kind of thought I must have been something different when they would see me with the hot chicks in my Jeep. And then word got out that clearly, and I think the hot chicks in the Jeep spread this fast, that nothing physical was going on with me. But in the short period of time that people thought this Holmberg guy's got something going on, all of a sudden, pretty girls thought I was like a thing.
He's got blue pubes, man.
Yeah, that was after I drew my pubes on Brady. It was not far after, but after. Maybe a year and a half removed from the blue pube incident. Please, let me tell the tales of the blue pubes. You can't just reference blue pubes and have it go unnoticed. I digress. Anyway, for Christ's sake, where was I? Anyway, no, the world has told women that Pete Davidson is attractive, and they buy it. And I'm watching, so over the weekend, Access Hollywood, Entertainment Tonight, that People show with Kay Adams from NFL. There's another one. I'm watching all these, the promos that are popping up.
Yeah.
Every single one of them is making a joke about how big Pete Davidson's dick is. And Kay Adams, I think it was it Billy Bush and the girl who was the Black Bachelorette that got Chris Harrison fired? They do a show together. I didn't even know that one. And they did a thing where he's like, is it because he's so funny? And then that Rachel girl goes, I think it's something bigger than that. And he goes, is it because he's got notoriety? No, I think it's something bigger than that. So they kept going. It's going to be a long, long time before we understand, like making these veiled references to how big Pete's dick is. And I figured something out through this whole Pete Davidson thing. Because there's the People ad is on right now as I'm talking about it. Girls always say size doesn't matter. And we as guys know it does, because that's what makes incels and crazy people shoot up malls and stuff, is because they have small dicks. But they say size doesn't matter. But when they think something's huge, they get excited about it, right? So then it's like this big like joke, like, oh, yeah, no, that's why Kim Kardashian and all these hot girls like Pete Davidson, because he's got a huge dork. But you know why women say size doesn't matter? And I thought of this all weekend because I had nothing but time on my hands. They are convincing us not to talk about it. So they've basically thrown down the accord. This is a parlay saying, we won't make size matter for you. Don't make it matter for us. Because we never, and size matters, by the way. You all agree for women?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But we never talk about it. Like, we never talk about, like, women's size problems. You know? And I think it's because women have just basically said, we're going to continually, because if they started to say size mattered, then
there's some locker room talk every now and then.
Oh, there's locker room talk, right? But you never see like there's no like, you know, when a woman gets like breaks up with a guy like Taylor Swift did, and then they do that little thing with their pinky,
yeah,
or they make jokes about little dicks and things like that, because deep down they know it stings, but they've kind of laid off of that whole thing because they know if that's fair game, they'll get destroyed. Because a good portion of them have honey holes that are massive.
the universal camel toe thing when the guys would go knuckle up or like.
Oh, sure, but that's just between each other.
Correct.
Like we don't do that. That's
or the
not
entire
like
bar.
It would never be a funny joke in a movie. It would never be on Saturday Night Live. It's like,
Right.
He's got a little wiener, or I know what's wrong with this guy. Like, we don't have stereotypes for women with humongous vaginas that they drive big trucks. Or, we don't have that.
You put the O signal up.
Right. We don't do like the OHIO, like when you're talking like the YMCA's. We don't do that because there's been some sort of an unspoken agreement that if they say size doesn't matter, we'll never get into that topic with them. But oh my goodness, does it ever? Or Pete Davidson wouldn't get Beatles screams just for being on TV because he's not attractive at all. By traditional standards, there's nothing about him. But media has told everybody, hey, he's getting all these hot chicks for a reason, and we all know what it is. So it's just and it's weird because we've also lied to women for years that it snaps back after birth, and we just don't make fun of it. We don't round about it, or that when you've been with a dude who's of substantial size, it shrinks right. What on the human body ever recovers back to its original state?
Yeah, it's not Stretch Armstrong.
No, it isn't. It's a change pouch. Those little change purses that you open them too much and they stay open. That's just basically what it is. But we don't make those jokes. We don't do it. But I started to watch that, and I'm like, that's the reason why we don't make these jokes, is because they've kind of backed off the idea that if they started making size matter too much, then we would too. And they can't handle that. Because then we'd start saying, oh, she's had 2 kids. That thing's not the same. By the way, ladies listening, every husband that said that has lied to you about it. It doesn't. Toledo, tell the truth. It doesn't snap back.
He left the room right when you started.
I know. I know. It doesn't. But he'll come running back in to tell the truth.
Yeah, here he comes.
It doesn't snap back. It's never the same. It's never, ever, ever the same. And that's a fact. But we tell them, oh, no, it's exactly like that. There's a reason why doctors have a surgery called omnibody rejuvenation. It's deep down they know this thing's a tattered rag compared to what it used to be.
Does not snap back.
Yeah.
The same way elbow skin doesn't snap back.
Nothing. Like
nothing.
I've had 2 surgeries this year, and I've got these weird, like on my shoulder, the scar, like on my left shoulder where the scar is, where the whole surgery was. I have this crepey, strange skin that's almost useless around the scar that kind of just collapsed and gave up. And it's because of the trauma inflicted on that area. And I'm like, well, that makes sense. I'm going to have weird, because the right shoulder doesn't have it, the left one does. And I'm like, well, that makes sense. I've been traumatized. So if you're taking massive dorks, or you're blowing babies out like crazy, it's been traumatized and it doesn't snap back. But I thought it was interesting how the media has told the general public that Pete Davidson is hot. And it's a thing. But they're saying it on all these shows about his wiener. It's just an interesting psychological experiment to say, boy, I wonder if we started talking about how because they do, and they remember, Brady, when I was doing the tampon thing when they were sizing them up 1 through 5.
Yeah.
And remember I saying, like, why would you ever buy the 5? You go to the store and get two 2s and a 1, and then the lady behind the counter will know you're not just some massive hole. And every woman emailed and said, it's not about the size, it's about the flow. Well, the new commercial, I don't know if you've seen the new commercial where Amy Schumer says, if it hurts, if it
She's
hurts,
disgusting anyway. It makes the commercial that much worse.
Oh, it is gross. You don't want to think about her natural body functions. But she says we size them from 1 through 5 because if it falls out, you're probably a size bigger, and if it hurts, you're probably a size smaller. Which is all about the capacity
That's
of the
talking
opening.
about the cavern.
That's the cavern. And so they made me write, even though I got yelled at constantly on email. And I'm like, oh, my God, these 5s, these lady 5s out there with their bowling ball holes, they're being sized up by their own people. And they, remember all the emails I read of women that were furious at me because it's like, it's not about how big it is, it's about the flow. And no, it's not. So if size matters, we would start in with that, too, because I think all of us have recognized someone who, and it's just the flip-flop. A woman's problem would be being too big, and a man's problem is being too small.
I don't care. I've had big and I've had small, and you know what? Sometimes the small one's better.
Well, that's not the case with us, because never is the big one better. ever. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting because I don't know if you didn't watch Saturday Night Live, you didn't hear the crowd lose their mind.
For Tay-Tay?
Pete Davidson.
Oh, yeah.
When Pete Davidson walked on that stage, they lost. Like, the women were screaming at the top of their lungs. And it's only because he's banging Kim Kardashian now.
Well, his resume is,
it's amazing.
And then you hear the other women talk about it. I don't know what.
But they're all
hang out
saying.
With Kate Beckinsale?
Yeah, he was with her.
Banged her too.
She's the first one. She led off by saying she'd always talk about what he's packing.
Oh, really?
Ariana Grande went on.
I think
and
she
Ariana
did,
Grande, too. Yep.
Every single one has said how big it is. And they are. So guys of average size to small size like me, it matters. And you have to recognize that. Brady, it matters. Your little button is not doing the damage you think it is. They lie to us. We lie to them. That's basically all it comes down to. And I wish we could be more open about it, like most of those ladies' gapers. Just be really open. Gigantic openings. That's what we should
You don't want
talk
any
about
of this, man.
You just don't. You have to be honest. As a woman, as a man, if I had a huge one, I'd be like, I got to tell you something. This thing's massive. Like, you have to reveal you have Peyronie's disease, an STD, or that you're really small. And as a man, you should probably say, hey, I'm not, this thing's not good. And then the lady should say the same thing. It's like, I've had Coke can sized boyfriends that if you're not of size. And I appreciate that. On Tinder, my friend showed me a girl he was going to date, and she put up a thing that said, I am a size queen, and if you don't have anything, swipe away from me.
Oh, man.
Because I need size. And that's what my gay neighbors always talk about. They're real open about it. Gay guys are real open about it. Like, some of them are size queens. If you're not packing, you're not playing, which is just gross. Because you know that
just the pack and play comment is,
the beehole doesn't recover either, by the way.
Oh.
And now being gay and stuff, I have to be very virtuous about that because I'm platinum back there. I'm pristine. It has to be. And I'm not a size queen. And I'm a size queen the other way. I want a needle boyfriend. Like, I want a tiny one. That's the only thing I'll accept.
Dexter sent in a word called colporaphy. That's the procedure of correction that you're talking about that women get to reform the lady bits.
Oh, the mommy surgery?
Apparently. Colporaphy.
Colporaphy.
And labiaplasty just gets rid of the bulge. Is that?
I think that just reshapes them. That's your favorite word of all time, I think. Labiaplasty.
That's not a real thing. They don't call it that, do they?
I think they do, actually.
Labiaplasty?
Yeah.
Is that right? Ugh. And that's just to shrink it like it got stung by a bee or something?
Yeah, trim it down, maybe pull back trim up the curtains.
That's a real thing?
Yeah, oh, yeah. You Google search it. The third one is labiaplasty near me.
Yeah. But it is a tentative kind of Palestinian-Israel relationship that the size conversation has. It really is. It's that. I won't talk about it if you don't talk about it. Let's just keep the peace. But it matters to both of us. Let's keep it down. It's going to offend everybody. It causes that. And Joe Cubello texts over. He says, they make big vagina jokes and we're the Millers. I remember when I watched it, I'm like, whoa. It was shot like, oh my God, they're going down a road that we shouldn't go down because this is going to, like, if they know the truth about this, they're in trouble. Doesn't snap back after childbirth. High-waisted jeans are the worst thing in the world.
I'm going to send you this picture,
and size
John.
Matters. Oh, God. I know what
the
Joe's going to
post.
send.
No, that's the post. This is what gets taken out with Brady's labiaplasty. Oh. That's the correction. And
you're sending me an actual picture of labiaplasty?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They're pulling shrimp out of there.
The snips. Come on. The snips.
What are we looking at? I'm glad I'm not in the room right
Yeah,
now.
you are. You should
I'm
be.
going to get it sent to you.
You're going to get it sent to me. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I think
you got people for that now?
Oh,
Yeah, I don't want to know. But ladies know size matters, or they wouldn't run to doctors to get that thing trimmed up and sewn out. It's a fact. Anyway, size matters. Let's never talk of this again, shall we? We got a What Would Brady Do coming up in just a little bit. He'll figure all this out. And Brady's size matters because it's adorable.
that angry acorn can do some work.
It's so cute. Like, it's like a little strawberry, just red and kind of puffy. It's adorable. Brady, if you ever switch to gay, you're first on my list because I can take you.
Break that seal.
Okay. Done. What are you doing later today? I'm negative now.
Yeah, don't tempt.
I tested yesterday. Let's give this a run. Put her in there, buddy. What Would Brady Do coming up next? It's 98.
Hey, it's not weird. It's pretty cool, actually. No membership fee.
I have heard enough of this.
You've been listening to Holmberg's Morning Sickness Podcast, brought to you by our friends at Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Eric'sFamilyBB.com.